Hello everybody, welcome. I'm No02, and thank you for watching this video. This is a melee deck for quick play Act 1 specifically. Melee is something that I haven't really done a whole lot of. Didn't really resonate with my soul. Didn't find it to be the most fun, but it is quite powerful. I know a lot of you folks out there enjoy it quite a bit. And so here we are. Here we are with a melee deck designed to be played with 3 random teammates in Act 1 specifically. Please check the timestamps for where I will talk about the melee cards, Berserker, Vanguard, etc. Yeah, and sort of see how many corners I think there can be to cut in the melee world. We still have a strong melee deck that supports the team, while still having a bunch of other tools that we can rely on. Thus, we'll start with our copper card, Hazard Pay. Hazard Pay if you trust yourself, uh, or Hazard Pay if you don't trust your teammates. Share the Wealth if you do trust your teammates, and Money Grubbers if you're feeling extraordinarily lucky. Defensive Scavenger for more things to throw. You literally cannot die if you have things to throw in your pockets. And then extra grenade slots, bomb squad, improvised explosives, and demolitions expert. We are going a little bit heavier in the grenades here. We're sort of like I mean, this isn't like quite the right like sort of like illustration, but we're sort of like heavier on the grenades, and then we're sort of going all in on the melee, and it feels like there's no in between, right? So we just like our primary tool. We're not investing anything into our weapon. We're not super concerned about our weapon. We can run whatever weapon makes sense for our team composition, depending on what our teammates are running as their weapons and things like that. But we will have extra grenade damage so we can deal with tall boys. And hopefully if we get our purple grenades, because the offensive upgrade is always the best, is the best upgrade for the entire team. The what I'm trying to say is getting the offensive upgrade is the most important upgrade at the shop. Yes, did it. And so we just have extra grenade damage giving us more potential to deal with bosses more comfortably, as well as just, one-shot tall boys, or even hopefully stumble the hardened tall boys. That's like the only thing we truly fear now. Then we pick up Fire in the Hole, Run Like Hell, and Cross Trainers. Just the basics as far as sprint speed for the crossing, for Hell's Bells, and for Abandoned. We have, right, technically, like, still the sort of starter kit of speed clutch capabilities here when it comes to playing with random teammates. So if they're all dead, we still have some sprint speed and stamina to sort of fall back onto to just bulldoze our way through the mission and things like that. But Fire in the Hole is also really good for Barroom Blitz. Lots and lots of extra temporary health to be had there. Also synergizes with Offensive Scavenger. Every extra little thing that you find is throwable for you. So if there's anything that's going to be left behind, pick it up, toss it, don't worry about it, pick up your grenades again and keep going. It's an extra boon of health for you. Plus, we're also going to have 4 grenades to begin with, and thus that's an extra 80 points of temporary health anyways. It's like, it's like 2 pain pills sitting in your offensive scavenger, or sitting in your offensive slot. It's quite nice. Cross trainers, though, over superior cardio. When it comes to like having the melee damage or having a melee weapon, having any bit of extra regen on our stamina is really, really nice. And so we sort of like cross trainers is more beneficial for both our ability to run and to swing our melee weapon, where superior cardio for the most part only helps our ability to run. And so we make a little bit of a compromise here by just having cross trainers so that the extra stamina or regen can be beneficial for when we are also in a melee situation, things like that. Now, Berserker. Why Berserker? This might be a hot take. You guys might be afraid, but I almost feel like we can just cut this card out and have our only melee cards being Vanguard, Battle Lust, Well Rested. No swing speed, no stamina efficiency, no melee damage. Now, when it comes to melee damage, there's one thing that we'd really, really like. In fact, the most melee efficiency thing that you can do is one-shot zombies instead of two-shot them, because that's pretty much right 100% reduction, right? Like you double your money there. If you can eliminate a Ridden in one swing instead of 2, that cuts your costs in half. And so I sort of found like that extra melee damage is sort of like a pseudo sense of extra stamina or stamina efficiency. And then if you just had bulk stamina to begin with, like extra cards like cross trainers or superior cardio, you don't really need a stamina efficiency. I think the stamina efficiency is a bit of a trap because they always come with swing speed, and if you swing faster, there's more opportunity to overswing. And I just find it's just not necessary. Walk forward, walk backwards. There's a little dance that you can do so you can, even with your slower swing speed, you can still comfortably crowd control an entire horde and things like that. Granted, if we got caught on the open and we got like 360 zombies around us, oh, it's going to be hard to swing our way out of that, so don't find yourself in that position. The melee weapon here is not a crutch for us to play bad, right? We still got our sprint speed to get from position to position. And really, when it comes to damage and getting one-shots on zombies, especially no hope mode, it's too much of a card investment, even then, to get a common or a green weapon to comfortably one-shot zombies in the knee. Things like that. It just ends up not being worth it, especially since we can get headshots. We end up being incredibly weak, though, to the exploder head zombies, the volatile zombies. And again, it just feels like too much of a card commitment to play around them with extra melee damage. So just recognize here that for the most part, if you get headshots on your melee weapon, that's the most stamina efficient thing that you can do. And we're always going to be weak versus the volatile ridden, so just keep that in mind. You'll still be able to crowd control them, swing at the feet, and things like that. Then, melee swing speed here. We do have melee swing speed. And the reason why we sort of like end up picking Berserker over a card like Slugger is because at the end of the day, running out of stamina is a real possibility. But Berserker actually helps compensate for that. When you are in a situation where there's tons of zombies and you're holding off the door, swinging for your life, Berserker pops off. You can get 10 plus stacks of Berserker. And even if you end up running out of stamina, with 10 plus stacks of Berserker, that's 50 bonus melee damage and 50 bonus melee speed. So in the circumstances where you end up running out of stamina are the circumstances where Berserker ends up becoming really strong. And when we're out of melee stamina, right, when we're out of stamina, our melee damage is reduced, and our swing speed is reduced. But Berserker compensates for that significantly in those moments because, well, again, the moments where you run out of stamina tends to be the moments where you get the most out of Berserker. And so as far as like one card to compensate for damage and stamina, Berserker does it the best, especially because it triggers in the moments where stamina becomes an issue anyways. But I think is really cool. But I almost feel like we'll talk about it later, maybe. I'm still working on the no damage, no swing speed stuff here. But we'll move on to Vanguard, Battle Lust, and Well Rested. Face Your Fears seems a little strange now. It only gives you one temporary point of health, and if we just run Well Rested, not only now can we have Vanguard generate health for our team, and that Vanguard health be translated into temporary health if our teammates are full health because we have Well Rested. It also just increases our healing efficiency overall. But then Battle Lust does the same thing now. Right? Battle Lust does the same thing as Face Your Fears, but it also recovers trauma. You guys get what I'm saying here? There's really no reason now to run Face Your Fears over Battle Lust if you have Well Rested in your deck, because Well Rested allows this healing that you receive to be translated into temporary health anyways. It's the same. And I really like Well Rested here with Vanguard because, again, having this Vanguard health be turned into temporary health for our entire team is really, really cool. Really, really beneficial. And so it allows you to relive the glory days of Vanguard on the game's release. And thus is basically our melee composition. We are not committed to eliminating mutations here. It takes too many cards. We're not really worried about stamina, swing speed. Those are all things that you can compensate by just with skill, with practice. And for the most part, Berserker compensates for all of those things when they become most necessary. And thus is the melee deck, where we just have the ability to comfortably swing our bat for the most part at a horde of zombies in a solid location, generate lots of extra health, heal our teammates, and give them temporary health and things like that. And we run Amped Up because we're a team player. Really, though, you can pull Amped Up and replace it with any card that you like for the most part, but the idea is basically we have our resource generation, our strong grenades, some sprint speed capability, and then we're basically melee support. Melee support healer. We are the melee healer, essentially, here. But have the ability for lots of crowd control. I will also note, to help compensate with Berserker, run the Claws. I think the Claws are the best melee weapon now because they get extra swing speed on hit, and they still do enough damage that if you get a headshot, it's going to one-shot most of the zombies anyways. Plus, too, if there's like a breaker, you have the option of slashing the breaker a couple of times. You know, things like that. And this is not a deck designed to be played against mutations, but, you know, the breaker's standing still doing his roar. You can punch him a couple of times and give him some bleed stacks. That feels good. But, I had a lot of fun running this. It's very non-committal to melee. But we still have all the most powerful effects that a melee deck can provide for the team. Notice here we don't have any use speed here for Act 1. It feels so silly to invest cards in the melee and then just not end up using them because we have to do the field cannon. But your job is to stand next to that field cannon and make sure that whoever is loading it never has to worry about common zombies. In fact, we can do it all. We have lots of grenades here with lots of extra grenade damage. So we can handle mutations and we swap back to our melee weapon, keep the field cannon clear and safe, and if they get hurt, we can keep healing them with Vanguard to brute force our way through all of it. So, let me know what you guys think. I'll be making more of these for all of the acts, because all of them have a little bit different nuances as far as challenges are concerned. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And I will see you in the future.